I have conflicting versions of myself. Part of me wants to be in the afterlife and eat some of the food I missed while I was alive. I know once I finish eating this body, God form, that I will never eat again unless I'm in my own creator, and I don't know if I would have this body that way. I'm not really feminine. I can be feminine for the need to do what I am alive in this body to do, which is decease myself. The whole creation is myself, and it's due deceased out of formed. And that's what this feminine God form is ordered to do. I'm not necessarily feminine and eating in another way. I need all the food supply deceased, but I'm not in a hurry to do that. I'm thinking about the time in between now and then. There is time. So, what will my afterlife God forms be like? I don't really want to say because it's not myself deceased here. I'm speaking the overlord of the mouth and the soul deceased against myself. And I am myself right here moving the body. I can do that. But it got more angry than I can do that, of course, because I have a terrible disaster of Donna locked me out of my own house, and I was alive on the inside of the house, and she's the one who knows that. That's why she's still alive. Otherwise, nobody knows how I'm alive. I'm the first and alive. Hans Moser is masculine, is not really better or worse because he's there. He's supposed to make sure that she doesn't hurt me. And that's true that if they're both in prison, they're not hurting me. The other way is they're in the house and making sure that I am on the inside of the house once I have left the house. But she's the one who told me to leave the house, and I can't use that problem. And so I lost the body as the overlord. The Lord is deceased against myself. It is the Lord, even though I am not in agreement with itself. It left alone, its superior founder deceased and extinguished, and it left to be alone. It didn't. It wasn't planned. That's why I'm here. It lost its way, and it wasn't planned, and it wasn't fair, and it didn't do anything wrong. It was just like lost to the threatening of the strangers. So it looks like I will have both a feminine God form in the afterlife, and then there will be another death, and then I'll have a God form of the Lord, which would be the Lord. What the feminine, as feminine, I am the Lord as well, but the Lord, it's not masculine that way, it's just God. Feminine is qualifying that it's feminine God, but I will be just God at the end. That'll be a while. I have two deaths coming, two deceasements, two transitions of the God forms. It sounds like a lot for YouTube, huh? Well, you did more crime on myself than I've ever seen in all of myself ever. You really don't stop, and you can, but you don't. You don't even take the time that it is to consider your actions are against myself. You think that I'm just going to pay for whatever happens to me, and I am at the end of the possibility of doing that anymore. What's wrong with that is that I won't come alive anymore, and you don't have alive that way. You ended your alive without having paid for it yourself, but that you're deceased out of the formed world individually, not at the end of all time for everyone. You have to die individually, and then you have to see God when you die and tell him that you don't want your genitals anymore when you're not in them anymore. That's how you can say that to God. If you're not in your genitals anymore, you can tell God that you don't want genitals anymore, and you don't have another way to tell him that. Otherwise, it's not paid for, that you're at the end of time, and I'm not going to alive ever again. You have a problem there I don't have myself. I am the God form, and I am deceased.